It's Afrofuturism this morning. The term was coined over 20 years ago to reclaim black identity through culture, political resistance and technology. It also offers a lens with which to see the future in a different way. And to join me in studio to unpack this now is the Executive Creative Director of TBWA, Kabelo Moshapelo. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. How are you? Happy Sunday. So what is Afrofuturism? What are we talking about here?
So Afrofuturism, simply put, is the intersection between your black identity and technology. And as you know, people become, as there's a bit more of a melting pot culture, and people are, seeing culture in a different way, and growing, broadening, and and technology as well developing at a rapid pace. The way the two meet, it creates a new future state where we're looking at ourselves a different way and imagining what a future could be, and how a lived experience through this future is. Right. Yeah.
How do we explore the future without looking at the present, right? How do we even try and describe the state that we are in now? How you see yourself in the future is sort of influenced by how you see yourself now.
100%. And the most important thing is to consider where we come from, because I think that's what at the core of Afrofuturism is the essence of where it all started, where you started as finding your identity, and then that is augmented with what you believe your future is going to be, or how you set out to live out in the future. And a lot of the influences are what actually the technological advancements are. And the technological advancements, especially living in the digital space and the digital era, whether it's low-level social media engagements and how now people can't live without social media, and how you've just plugged into this whole cultural dynamic. It's creating a way of living or a lived experience that's quite different, that's quite dissimilar to our past experiences, but augments it and elevates it in a particular way, because I think what we try to find is value systems and meanings in where we come from, and marrying that with what the future states could be.
When we talk about meaning in terms of where we come from, when you look up the concept Afrofuturism, what pops up clearly to you is Black Panther, where it's like that has really thrust the concept into the spotlight again. Is it African, or is it Americans looking at what, or imagining what being African is? It seemed very American.
I think the misconception of it being too American is that is that we still don't see ourselves in it. You know what I mean? And that's the whole mind shift of what Afrofuturism is seeing yourself in this outside of the conventional way of looking at Africans. And the conventional way of looking at Africans is the dark continent. It's the continent that doesn't have, it's not as advanced. It's not as aspirational in that regard of, technological advancement. And where Black Panther kind of positions itself, it's the most advanced civilization on the planet in the context of the comic book or the storyline or narrative of the movie, is that it's taken a different perspective altogether to what a representation of Africans could be.
We've got amazing comic book writers. One that comes to mind is Loyiso Mkhize with his Kwezi comic book. When we talk about visual artists as well, we've got some amazing ones from the likes of Kenya, from Nigeria. Why does this concept matter? Why does Afrofuturism matter? And why does the work that these guys are putting out matter?
It matters a great deal because representation is important. Representation in the matter of, it explores different cultures. It explores, besides the cultural interpretations of, what the essence of those makes up of those cultures is, like looking at it with a different lens of packaging a story. And a story is always going to be fiction based, but where today fiction of technology is now a reality, it almost starts a trajectory of, let's look into the future. What is the future state? And it's a nice way of, giving the characters that they're illustrating or portraying superpowers, and those superpowers, in the mind of in the imagination becomes, what you start identifying with, what inspires you, what drives you and propels you forward.
Representation matters. Thank you very much for coming through this morning and talking to us. That was Kabelo Moshap Alo, TBWA Executive Creative Director.